Hi, this is Claire Weber, founder of HerDad, whose mission is to improve the relationship between dads and daughters everywhere over the course of a lifetime. One of the videos that I started to get the most comment about online and off is about this video where I talked about that the philosophy at HerDad is foundational, that men are good. And I've had a lot of different reactions and comments and even calls about this, saying, like, wow, that's so unusual to hear that, to hear those words together, and especially from a woman. And I'm really proud of that. And I'm glad that I'm getting this reaction because it's the reaction that I want. I want people to hear this and I want people to notice it and I want it to get people's attention because it is rare and that's sad because it's true that men are good. So I just want to talk a little bit more about that today because I feel like there can't be enough said about it at this point. So I'll tell a little bit of how I came to wanting to talk about this so specifically. So I did not always believe that men were good. I really had a lot of defensiveness, bitterness, coldness, callousness, definitely a lot of distance between me and the men in my life, me and men at large. And it was there was a pivotal change where I was really challenged to look at things differently. And that was a whole series. If you want to know more about how that happened, please feel free to reach out through any of my social media channels or book a call with me. I'll tell you more about it because it can happen. And I think it's important that as many women as possible have this experience that I went through to wake up and to be challenged to see things differently. But what ended up happening was that I started to actually critically look at the world literally around me, not what I was being told through media, through other people's experience, not even looking at my past, but literally opening my door and looking at the world around me today, to observing the men around me today in real time, in real life, what's going on with men. And what I ended up observing was that everywhere I went, when I was looking for this, I saw men that were being really great, being great to children, being great to strangers, being great to me. Something I saw like that I never noticed before because I wasn't looking at it, just a way that men would cede the passage, they would move out of the way on the stairs to let other people come by, or just all these sort of invisible ways that I think that I see now that men are being kind and not trying to take up too much space and not trying to be all the things that we hear about men these days. So when I put aside all of my prejudgments, when I put aside my anger, my bitterness, and hurt from the past and started looking at the reality of today, everything opens up. And it is my great passion that people and women everywhere will challenge themselves to look at reality and to make the distinction that there are hurt people and that there are men and there are women. And unfortunately, oftentimes the hurt people and men category are collapsed into one. But it's actually not true. Statistically, yes, are there a lot of hurt men out there doing hurtful things? Yes. And there are hurt women too doing hurtful things. They actually generally look different. For men, there is a lot more tendency when they're hurt towards violent and aggression. But women who are hurt cause a lot of pain and damage as well. It's just not always that the violent, aggressive type. So the men who are hurt and doing hurtful things get a lot of attention. And listen, I more than anybody, I am pro women. If you know me, you'll know that I am not like I'm the furthest from anti women or any of those things. I'm not anti anybody. I am pro men, I'm pro women, I am pro us actually having like real live experiences of the other without all of the things that we see and that we're told and that we're told that we've been told. So, as dad, if you're listening today, I want you to know that if you work with her dad, the number one thing that you will feel from the beginning to the end of working together is that I see that you are good. And that if you're willing to work on your relationship with your daughter, you are really, really, really one of the good ones because it's a really big role that you have. And it's really going to impact her life and the life of all those around her. So, if you're a woman listening to me or a daughter, I challenge you to look at the world around you today, to leave behind the things that you've been told, your past experiences. I understand how hard it can be. Believe me, I do. But challenge yourself for 1 week to go out and intentionally look and see how many good things the men around you are doing. Thanks for tuning in today. You'll be hearing me talk a lot more about this topic because there's just not enough that can be said about it right now. Have a great day.